Forget fitness, forget those healthy diets, and you don't need to run away with the 25-year-old receptionist or gym bunny. Science says, not Simon says, science says there's a better way to stay young, and that's to ride your motorcycle. Now we all know how good that feels. Leave your worries behind, get outside and smell the fresh air, perhaps a few petrol fumes. It really is freedom as you rev that Harley and leave your worries at home. It does something for your mood, but it actually does something for your brain, something that's measurable. It's powerful, and today I'm going to show you 5 ways that riding your motorcycle actually keeps you younger, backed by neuroscience. Stay tuned for number 5. It's a beauty, and it relates directly to what we all experience on a motorcycle. Number 1, riding is novelty, and novelty keeps your brain young. You see, when you're riding your motorcycle, every second that you're out there, you're experiencing something new. A slight change in lean angle, a slight change to the camber of the road, the feel of the bike as it loads or unloads its suspension, the unpredictability of cars, or the general traffic around you. What about when you're going through a treed area and there are shadows everywhere and you're not quite sure what's on the road and what's not? Sometimes there's gravel on the road, the wind changes, the smells are different wherever you go, and that means your brain is constantly readjusting, recalibrating, reassessing what's in front of you. Neuroscientists call this novelty processing, and studies show that this strengthens the part of your brain that controls memory, learning, and motivation. Let's put that in simple terms. Every ride is a workout for your brain that keeps you sharp. That's because motorcycling is a constant stream of healthy novelty. Not overwhelming novelty, that's stressful, not boring familiarity. Did I say that right? Motorcycling sits in the sweet spot between the two. Number 2, riding lights up your hippocampus and dopamine loop. Now this loop up here, it's the same thing that fires up when you explore something new. Research has shown that novelty makes your hippocampus and dopamine system talk more clearly with each other. It strengthens that connection, and riding a motorcycle means that loop is firing continuously because you're adjusting speed, you're reading the traffic, you're scanning corners, you're feeling that the traction is there. You're interacting with the environment, and that's the type of thing that keeps your brain elastic, flexible, youthful. In other words, riding literally exercises the circuitry that keeps your brain young. And that brings me to this important message, and that message is this video is not sponsored by anyone. So to keep the channel going, we've got an awesome range of supporter gear that shows the world, when you're wearing it, that you're old and not dead, that you still have spunk, that you've got some grunt left. So we've got t-shirts in black, green, white, coal, and if you're gold, you can grab a hoodie or a beanie. There's stickers, patches, key rings, stubby holders, even caps. It's for the discerning gentleman and woman. I mean, come on. After all, the brand has a skull and a crown as a logo. That's a symbol of conquering death and ill health, living life to the fullest as only those that ride motorcycles can. Number 3, riding trains cognitive flexibility. Lots of big words, but that's the brain's youth signal. Pretty wild really, but novel experiences literally reset your brain's circuits. It makes your brain more adaptable to the changes that happen in life, and let's face it, there are a lot of changes that happen in lives. Scientists found that those systems in your brain that are working together have an increase in long-term connectivity, and that's directly linked to resilience. We all know that riding is very unpredictable. You're forced to react and to adapt on a moment-to-moment basis. Think about every time you change your line, changing gears, changing body position, because we all like to hang off on our Harleys. And then there's the perception of speed, the threat from other road users, it goes on and on. But what it actually means is it forces your brain to update its stored model of what the world is really like. It forces it to update it in real time. Adaptability is youth, and that means your brain's going to last a long time. What's the opposite of that? Perhaps rigidity in your thinking. That's aging. Motorcycle riders stay mentally loose, flexible, and sharp. Number 4, riding strengthens memory and spatial awareness. The hippocampus, which is your brain's memory and navigation center, loves spatial challenges. In other words, visualizations, manipulating objects in space, understanding the position of things in relation to each other, that's distance and proportion. And scientific studies show that exploring a novel environment improves your memory even for unrelated things. Novelty activates your brain's memory systems. And we all know that on a motorcycle, you're navigating with your whole body. You're traversing the road terrain through the hazards of cars and obstacles wherever you go. There's differences in speed, differences in lean angle. What about the timing between cars? Your whole environment's like a 3D map, and that's one of the strongest anti-aging activities for your brain that you can do. Number 5, riding's not just novelty, it's meaningful novelty, and this is where the magic happens, because science has shown that novelty hits harder when it's associated or when it has meaning to it. And we all know that motorcycle riding isn't just riding, it's emotionally charged, it has a lot of meaning with it. For a lot of people, it's more than a hobby, it's an identity, a way of life, a way of being. And for most people, it's a passion, and passion is emotional. It can be an absolute ritual of trying to master a skill that you can get better and better and better at. It's a lifetime thing. And when you're out on an adventure, there are friendships and camaraderie that goes with it. That's emotional. And I know for a lot of people, every time you're riding a motorcycle, it's a reminder of what you're capable of. That's staying young. So meaning amplifies novelty's effects. And that means a bigger dopamine release, a stronger encoding of memories, more elasticity in your brain, more youthfulness. So in other words, it rewires your brain because things that you experience through that novelty of motorcycle riding means a lot to you. That's why we feel alive when we're out riding. So for sure, people look at us and perhaps see an older rider, but science says, nah, we're young. And really that means you've got to act that way. Ride faster, do burnouts, party hard. Because on every ride, you're sending a message to yourself, I'm still here, I'm still learning, still growing younger every day. That's old, not dead. If you like today's video, you're going to love this video. United we ride as 703 bikers take over a Harley dealer.
Using all that's left, somewhere in your chest, on your sweetheart hit a mist. Oh.